In this lesson, you will learn about recent innovations in the use of images in HTML documents. You will learn what animated GIFs are and how to include them in HTML documents. You will learn how to use one of the programs designed to create images map files. You will learn how to create a hyperlink to access both the client-side and server-side map files. HTML pages have recently become much more dynamic. Browser plugins now allow for inline QuickTime and MPG movies. The use of authoring tools for interactive applications like Macromedia's Director through the Shockwave plugin, and even the inclusion of virtual worlds through VRML, Virtual Reality Modeling Language. Of course, Java dominates many discussions of dynamic content over networks. However, the one new type of dynamic content that may be accessible to more users than any of these others are animated GIFs. And strangely, the capability for animated GIFs has been around since 1989. GIF, graphic interchange format files, have been around for some time. They were the first universally accepted image format for the World Wide Web. The second GIF standard, known as GIF 89A, allowed us to create the transparent GIFs that allow the page background to show through and to create interlaced images, those that appear to load the image in layers. Animated GIFs are not HTML-based creations. Rather, they exploit previously unused features of the GIF 89A specification that made provisions for embedding multiple images in a single GIF file, the ability to spawn multiple images of a base image, and for text to float above the image, meaning the text doesn't become part of the pixel structure of the image beneath. These attributes in the 89A spec are maintained by control blocks that let the user fine-tune attributes like transparency, color, delay time, and more. Netscape 2.0 B5 was the first browser to support these features, though now the major browsers will display these animations. The good news is that for browsers not supporting this specification, the first image of the series is displayed rather than returning an error message. Animated GIF files effectively consist of several stationary GIF images compiled into one file. To make an animated GIF, you start by making a collection of separate GIF images, one for each frame of your animation. These images should be the same size and ideally should share the same color palette to prevent palette flicker. Once you have collected the images, the easiest way to combine them is to use a shareware utility such as GIF Construction Set for Windows or a freeware utility such as GIF Builder for the Macintosh. In fact, these utilities have features to assist you with sizing and color palette problems, along with the ability to convert some digital movie formats to GIF animations. Using these tools, you can create a single file that contains the multiple images plus instructions for the time delay between each display. This file is usually much smaller than the sum of the file sizes of the individual images, making animated GIFs both effective and economical. Implementation of GIF animations in your pages is identical to that for ordinary GIFs. All the normal attributes of the img tag may be used. The file may also be used as a hyperlink. Image maps provide an opportunity to combine presentation with functionality. Computer users, young and old, are quite accustomed to clicking on objects in a picture to trigger a link or event. Image maps provide this functionality to the web. The process of creating image maps is relatively simple. Objects or areas in the graphic are identified in terms of X and Y coordinates. A rectangle would be defined by 4 XY pairs, for example. Once this area is defined, it is associated with a URL. This is done with a server-side image map. If the server for your HTML files has image map server capabilities, there are two main types of server-side map servers, NCSA and CERN, and each requires a specific format in the map file. The web server administrator can identify the required map type. New capabilities have now been added to most browsers that permit the interpretation of these map files by the browser. This has led to the implementation of standards for client-side image maps. Image maps of this type do not require any special assistance from the server. There are still browsers out there that cannot interpret client-side image maps. Fortunately, you can create maps and HTML source code to accommodate all browsers. The hard part of creating either kind of map file has been identifying the X and Y coordinates. But now, there are many software packages that make it as easy as drawing a shape in any graphics program. These programs ask you to draw the appropriate shape over the graphic you are using, and then they prompt you for the URL you wish to associate. Your graphic file is not altered in any way. These programs will write the information out in the format of your choice. For these exercises, a freeware utility called MapThis is available. You will need to ask your server administrator what sort of map files your server supports. The two usual types are CERN or NCSA. The format of the map file is different for each. These files will then go onto the web server in a directory designated by the server administrator. Here is a sample of the data in a NCSA map file. As you can see, shapes are named. An HTML document is associated with that shape, and the exact coordinates of the shape are declared. The default is for clicks on otherwise undefined areas of the image. As the user clicks on the image, the browser registers the coordinates and passes this information to the server. The server consults the map file and serves a file as associated. These are server-side image maps. The newest development in image maps eliminates the need for the server interaction. As the browser is calculating the coordinates for each mouse click, it seemed logical to let the browser match that information with data included in an HTML document. Therefore, the map file information can simply be embedded in the document that contains the image map graphic. These are known as client-side image maps. In the img tag containing the clickable image, isMap and useMap attributes are declared. In the case of client-side image maps, the useMap attribute is used and a new map tag containing the map information is added to the HTML document. In the case of server-side image maps, the img tag with the isMap attribute is included in a hyperlink pointing at the map file on the server. The good news is that the methods can be used together to ensure that all browsers will behave properly. Here is what the tags for an image map written to accommodate all browsers might look like. MapThis is a freeware utility designed to assist in the creation of image maps. Along with being free, it is one of the best such tools available. The author of MapThis now has a shareware product called Live Image. It can be downloaded from http://www.mediatek.com for a free trial.